Hey everyone, this is Olay from Laddering Your Success, and you're listening to the LYS Podcast. Happy New Year to everyone out there in the world. We're here, 2023, first episode of the new year, here for another LYS free student mentoring session, part of our LYS Podcast. As always, my name is Olay here with my good friend and founder, CEO of Laddering Your Success, Festus and Olay. Festus, how you doing today?
What's up, y'all? What's up, y'all? What's up? It's good to be back. It's good to see and be seen. Happy 2023, everybody.
You know, if you've watched more than one episode, you know that I normally start off by trying to yell, good afternoon, but we found out that I've been like busting the microphone when I do that. So
the sonic barrier.
2023, we got some new resolutions. We're trying to, as the kids say, we're trying to level up, right? So we're trying to change some things up, make sure we do it right so that we can fulfill what we set out to do, right? And do it the best way possible. As always, I also have our good friend. I can consider him a mentor because he is what did I call one of my professors? I called him someone who had a plethora of knowledge, and that's my good friend, Mark Crawford. Crawford, how you doing today?
Hey guys, thank you guys for having me today.
Oh, absolutely. So good to have you.
And we're gonna have to put the doctor in front of it.
I was gonna say soon to be doctor. And I told him when he becomes it, I'm calling him, whether he like, nah, it's still me, Jamark. Okay, doctor.
Yeah.
Hopefully, yeah, help me out. Speak that into existence, please.
All righty. Yes, sir, doctor.
And then we got D Hill on the line. Welcome, Mr. D Hill.
What's up, little bros? How was y'all holiday, man?
Good.
It was good. I see the juices loose. 2023, D Hill in the house.
Hey, let's get it, man. Let's get it. You know what I'm saying? Tullahoma, Tennessee. You already know how we do.
Southwest Airlines let you back in.
I know, right? Them was like, a black man trying to fly back to Texas? No, sir, not today.
Oh, wow. And then let's introduce Monica. And you said two boys, Monica?
Yes, twin boys, Patrick and Preston.
Okay, what grade level? What age?
Oh, we are both in 6th grade, the start of middle school.
Okay, that's what's up. Welcome. We appreciate y'all joining us today. We're definitely going to create some time, like I said, to address some of the specific needs that you all have, either in line with the topic or not. And so Olay's going to kick that off. Olay, you want to get us going?
Absolutely. Yes. So thank you so much for joining us. The LYS mentoring session powered by LYS. For those of you who would like to get in contact with us on our different social medias, on Instagram, just type in LYS students, or you can type in be no do, as in our be no do methodology, _LYS. On Facebook and on YouTube, you can just type in Laddering Your Success, in the search bar, and you can get access to us there. On TikTok, LYS be no do. If you'd like to send us an email so we can come to your school, so we can come to your youth group, to your church, to talk to your young people, to talk to your parents, to talk to your educators, info@ladderingyoursuccess.com. On Discord, super excited about Discord. Wonderful way for us to engage with our young people. About to get that going for 2023. I know for those of you who've been watching last year, we kept talking about it, Discord. And we finally were able to figure out some stuff. And so we're really excited about getting going with that. So I'm just typing Laddering Your Success on Discord. And if you love what we do, if you have a heart to help us to push this forward, and you would like to give a monetary gift, on Cash App, $Laddering Your Success. Laddering Your Success, $Laddering Your Success on Cash App. Of course, we have the granddaddy, the LYS lesson plan and assignments app. It helps you quickly create dynamic, rich, and engaging accommodated lessons and assignments for your students. You will save 10 to 30% of your time on lesson planning. There are character building lessons built into every lesson, and these are completely standard aligned lessons created by expert teachers. And you can try it for free. Just go to ladderingyoursuccess.com. Also on Amazon, this is what got us started. Laddering Your Success, the book. It goes over the seven different aspects of wholeness to create a well-rounded, holistic outlook on yourself and to help you start on that path of generational wealth. You can get this right now on Amazon. Just type in Laddering Your Success. If you go to the website, ladderingyoursuccess.com, you will see some other ebooks that you can purchase. One of them being Stepping Up and College. Sorry, one of them is called Stepping Up, College and Career Checklist. All right. Another one is for parents, A Parent's Guide to Student Success, which kind of has a little bit to do with what we're talking about today. 10 things to think about before going to college. But remember, this particular ebook is actually free. This is a free ebook that you can just go to Laddering Your Success and click that download button and get quick access to it, easy access to it. 10 things to think about before going to college. This is a wonderful resource guide to use if you're an educator and you're mentoring a student, if you're a student, or if you're a parent. I think it's best for parents and students to read this together so they can kind of gain some common ground. Okay. Of course, LYS. Let's start that climb. All right. So before we get into our actual topic for today, I think Festus, it'd be cool if we talk with Monica and see what she wanted to go over with her twin boys. All right, Monica, thank you again so much for joining us. Please tell us what's going on. Why are you joining us today?
So first of all, thank you so much for what you all offer. I ran into Daniel again. Daniel and I grew up together, Daniel Hill. We grew up together, and when I ran into him last week, he told me about you all and the mentoring program. And I have twin boys, 12 years old, who could really just benefit from the perspective of Black male mentors. And we live in a predominantly white area where we don't get a lot of exposure to people who look like us who are successful. And so I think it's important that whatever knowledge and whatever wisdom you have to impart in them, with them being so young and impressionable, I think this is a great time for them to have that exposure and to build a relationship with you all. So that's why we're here.
Thank you so much for that. Thank you for, can I say, being a model parent, or at least going out there and seeing a need and being proactive and intentional about doing that. It was so funny. She said positive Black male mentors, and I looked up and I was like, oh, wow, there's 4 of us. Okay, yeah, I got it. Yeah, it makes sense.
Yes,
Beautiful.
there are 4 of you right here in this space.
Yeah, so Festus, you want to go ahead and get started with some foundational things we can talk about on this journey?
Yeah, I think the number one thing that I would say is identity. Right? Especially as young people today, one of the biggest things that's being challenged is like who you are, you know what I mean? And identity is something that comes from deep within, but then there's the things we identify with that are outside of us, you know, and and so often, you know, we could talk about progress and the progress that we think we have made as a society. But then there is our internal progress as well, right? And our self-perception. And so those are just a couple things that I would kind of start us off with thinking about as we dialogue, right? Because and I'll give a couple personal examples. Is like in my life, I've been a soldier. That's an identity, right? You know, my parents are I'm a first generation immigrant. So my parents came from Nigeria. That's an identity, right? So there's all these different elements that come in to make our identity. And so, you know, as we're challenged or as we're questioned in what our identities are, we have to really look at what we're going to hold on to. You know, for me personally, I look at my Christian identity kind of first and foremost. Why? Because, you know, I look at it as, you know, I look at myself as a child of God, and that before you know, God is eternal. And so before the world even began, he had me in mind, you know what I mean? And so to me, I think that's just an awesome thing, that regardless of whatever social systems have been put up and whatever those social systems might have done to my grandparents, to my parents, things that I actually seen where, you know, we didn't grow up with a lot of money. And I remember our landlord, I literally remember this conversation. You know, my dad was late on the rent, and it was maybe second or third time. And the landlord was like, well, why don't you sell your kids? And my dad went off, bro. Like, I've never really seen my dad go off, but even just for somebody to actually think that they could say that to a person, you know what I'm saying, it goes to show how little they think of you as a human being, you know what I'm saying, and those family structures. And so, long story short, again, to me, I think that identity is important because regardless of the circumstance or situation that you find yourself in, you know, that identity speaks to where you came from and where you're going, you know. And so I'll just start off with that. Yeah, floor's open. Floor's open.
I was gonna say, Monica, so just so you know, a little bit about us. Festus started this about 6-7 years ago. I've known Festus pretty much my entire life, best friends. I was going through a state of flux. I had just been laid off, tried to go back, get my MBA. I wanted to figure out what I wanted to do. And it just so happened that it had to meet the same time that Festus was writing the book, Lighting Your Success. So I joined in, and then within a couple of months, decided my purpose was to become a teacher, or that's my reason for being here on this earth. I did that about 5 years ago. It's been amazing ever since. In that process, I've been able to meet Jamar Crawford and Daniel Hill. And so the spirit has just kind of flowed within us, and we've kind of all just come here together, and we just come here in fellowship, and we just share ideas, solutions, and talk about mentoring and things like that. Just to give you a little background as to kind of how we all got here. Jamar Crawford or Hill, please. And so the other thing I wanted to say is we have all worked in education at some point, and me, Crawford, and Hill are still teachers right now. Festus is still in schools, talking about LYS and things. So that's what I wanted to let you know. We're all teachers, so we literally deal with students that are around your kids' age. So Crawford,
I actually really appreciate you all saying that, because I'm a retired police officer. I was a police officer for 15 years in Nashville, and now I'm an educator. So now I teach criminal justice. So we're all educators here.
We're all in this. Isn't there a song about that? We're all being in this together.
I'm sure there is.
Crawford Hill, go ahead, take it up.
Oh yeah, bro. Yeah, man. I was gonna tell y'all, yeah, she actually teaches criminal justice, but she just said it, man. But which is kind of different, because when we grow up, man, we have none of that stuff. We had none of them options. We have that, but now she's able to help kids in different ways now. And she does something else. I think she has a little, I'm not mistaken, she does something on YouTube, right, fam?
No, I do not do anything specifically with YouTube, but I do go around the country speaking to different universities about overcoming adversity and the importance of having diversity in workspaces.
Yeah. Okay, that's what's up. Yeah. So, but yeah, man, she does major things, man. She, like she said, she did all that, and now she's back home in the tele teaching. But yeah, I would give her about me, but I mean, she already know me, so Crawford, like the fam already know me. So go ahead, Crawford.
Some information about me. I went to school to major in animation. That was my passion, until I realized that it was something about helping others, children, learn that just like warmed my heart. And so I switched to education, and I've been in love with it ever since. And my passion is to just have students to enjoy learning. And one piece of advice that I would give to your twin boys is that on their educational journey, wherever they may go, don't ever let anyone tell them that they can't do anything, and don't let others' insecurities rub off on them through their academic journey, wherever that may be.
Thank you for that.
Absolutely. Okay, so I wrote some things down real quick that I kind of wanted us to go over, and at any moment, at any time, guys, you are more than welcome to jump in here. So initially, when I hear 12-year-old, I think about myself when I was 12. I'm sure we all do, or we all did think about ourselves when we were 12. And these are just some things that I kind of thought about that I think I would have loved to hear someone tell me when I was 12. You're going to deal with pressure from all around you. And I think the thing that I've noticed is 2023, it's definitely worse than it was when we were 12. because there's just more stuff and there's more noise out there. Hey, LYS fam, it's Olay. Thanks so much for listening to LYS. I just wanted to take a quick moment to talk to the parents. That's right, mom and dad. Parents, prepare your child for their best educational fit after high school with our comprehensive LYS Parents Guidebook. Our helpful guide includes a range of activities designed to help you better understand your child's unique gifts and abilities. Additionally, we provide valuable insights into the student loan debt crisis and offer practical tips on how to avoid accumulating large amounts of debt. Our ebook also includes a wealth of information on scholarships, grants, and payment exemptions that can help guide your child towards a bright and successful future. With our expert guidance, you can rest assured that your child is well prepared to make informed decisions about their education and career path. Don't let your child's future be in jeopardy. Invest in their future today by downloading the LYS Parents Guidebook. Simply go to lys.com/parents to get your copy today. Now let's get back to the show because you know it's some good topics. I think the hardest thing to do right now in 2023, if you were 12 years old, is to be yourself, your true, authentic self.
Talk that talk, bro.
Because there are so many people coming around you saying, hey, this is the thing, or this is the thing to do, and this is the thing to do. And the moment you say, no, I'm good, young people don't know how to take that because they are so used to just following the crowd. That's one of the biggest things I've noticed as a teacher is one person will bring like one little thing, and then before you know it, everyone else brings it. One kid has when I used to go to the raves, they would call it candy. One of them has candy, the little wristbands with the letters on it. Before you know it, that same kid has like 12 on their arm the next day. Other kid has 6 or 7 or 8. And it's like, it's okay to say no. It's definitely okay to say no. Will you be labeled as corny? Probably. Will people make fun of you? Probably. It's a truth. Conflict is inevitable. What does that mean? No matter where you go on this earth, since the creation of time, there's going to be opposing forces. There's going to be another force that you're going to have to deal with. And so the question is, what do you do when that happens? Everything you're going through right now is a learning experience. Man, the pastor actually talked about that today. He said, introspection, when you look back at something, it kind of helps you. I don't know if you remember that, Hill. He said, when you look back at something, you learn so much more because you think about it from so many different perspectives. And that's what you're doing right now. You're literally creating these moments that you can go back to and say, hey, man, dang, I remember when I did the thing, I didn't do the thing that everyone did, and this was the result. So the key thing I want you to remember here is the power there is in being your true, authentic self. There's so much power in that. And in line with that, you also have to think about social media. It is not going anywhere, but it's definitely a part of our lives. And just like most things, when used properly, it can be of true benefit to you. And I know, once again, this is going to sound corny, but whatever you're learning about right now, there is some channel, there is some video, there is a YouTube video, there's a TikTok about it that can explain it in a way that you will love. Now, don't get me wrong. There's also a video of some kid walking around smacking, another kid in the back of the head and then everyone went running away. Is it funny? Probably it could be, but is that the thing that's really going to help us? And don't think it's just you. This is so funny. I'm not just talking to you as a 12-year-old. I think that's a really big thing for us to realize. I'm not just talking to a 12-year-old, I'm talking to myself. There are so many things I know that I can use in my professional life, in my personal life. But, I watch the video like, before you know it, an hour has passed. So I don't want you to think that, we're perfect. No, but the key is to catch it early, right? And make sure you self-correct, okay, whenever you're in those situations. Because you're 12 now, you're going to hit 15 before you know it, okay? And another thing I want to talk about is, this is the time when you're going to start finding the people that you trust the most. this is the time when you start finding those people. So quick story. When I was in high school, I remember the most popular kids in high school. Had all the friends, always people would hang out with, doing all that stuff. I was not very popular. I was confused because I was in band and football. I didn't know which one I liked more. So, there's a lot of confusion that comes. It's just like, the band. So, you're hanging out with the jocks, but at the same time, my band geeks and my band geeks, there's my people. That's my people. Out of all my high school friends, I only talked to 3. And one of them is on the call right now. I live with the other one. He's one of my best friends. And the other one lives about 20, 30 minutes away. So just think about your world right now. As you get older, it's going to get much smaller. You're going to start finding these people, right? These people who you don't even realize it, but they're proving their worth to you. Festus always tells the story about when he went to the army, he had an envelope of cash. And he gave the envelope to me. He was like, man, I need you to hold this for me. And I still remember it. I took the envelope and I put it in a drawer. It was a lot of money. I put it in a drawer and I just, out of sight, out of mind. He asked me to hold it. I'm holding it for him.
Bro, can I tell the story?
Oh, you want to tell it? Or go ahead.
No, so for those who don't know, my parents passed away. My mom passed away. My brother found out that my mom had a very small life insurance policy. And again, we didn't have much. So we were able to cash this very small life insurance policy. And we said, okay, we're going to split it between me and my 2 younger sisters. Me, my brother, my 2 younger sisters, those 4 of us. And I think it was like $10,000. And so I really didn't trust my brother for some reasons. I'm not going to get into that right now. But anyway, I didn't have a bank account at the time. And so I left Olay with like $7,500, which is like all the money we had. And I'm like, yo, I need you to hold this for me. So I go off to basic training for like 13 weeks, 14. It wasn't even 14 weeks. It was like, because it was basic and then AIT. And so I finally get back from AIT and we're in Olay's room playing video games, right? So I don't know, we were playing Madden or something. And he's like, hey, Festus, you want that money you gave me? And again, anybody who's been in the military and in service, is very traumatic, all of the stuff that you go through in terms of basic training. So my mind is just like fried, right? And I'm not even thinking about this at all. I've totally forgotten about it. So he's like, hey, you want that money you gave me? I'm like, what money? And then I'm playing, we're just playing the video games. And then he's like, the money you gave me, you don't remember it? I'm like, nah, what money? We're just playing the video games. And he's like, yeah, let me get that envelope for you, dog. And so he gives me this envelope and I'm like, where did you get this? He's like, dog, you don't remember you gave me this? And for me, that was such a big, again, you don't have friends that you could really, really trust like that. And so for me, I gained so much more respect. I mean, I've always respected Olay, but like so much more respect that all of that money was there, not a dollar was missing. And I think I ended up breaking you off after that. I think I was like, yo, bro, just because, what I'm saying? I don't know if did I or no.
I can't remember, but I mean, it sounds good. Because as soon as I was like, on principle, just on principle.
Yeah, exactly. It was like, yo, bro, like, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, that's one of the reasons I just love you and just think like, man, you got a lot of homies who, they stealing from you right now. You don't even know it. You don't even know. Like you come in your house or they come in your house and next thing you know, something's missing. You don't even know what's missing. But again, to just have somebody that real to be like, hey, I'm holding, and especially for me, it wasn't just the me thing, it was my younger sisters and, not having parents and not having resources for them. But long story short, they were in Nigeria at the time and that's how we paid for their airfare tickets to come back. And so again, major shout out to you, bro. If I had the flowers right now, bro, I would do the screen, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, told the story. Go ahead, bro.
Oh, no worries, man. Thank you so much for that. But the key thing I want you young men to realize there is Talib Kweli has an album and the name of the album is Reflection Eternal. And the reason why I thought that was so important is because I was a reflection of the values and the qualities I saw in Festus. So a lot of times you're going to attract what and who you are. So if you try to do good, if you try to let your yes be a yes and your no be a no, you will figure out it's gonna come together. Those who are in line are gonna fall in line. Those who aren't are gonna just move their way out. But right, the opposite is true. If you let your yes be a no and your no be a yes, if you're a little wishy-washy, yeah, you're gonna have a lot of wishy-washy. And the cool thing about that is, I won't say the cool thing about that, but the interesting thing about that is you're usually gonna have more wishy-washy, right? Because I would say it kind of looks like a bell curve, where if you're doing a graph, right? X and Y, we got something going on here. The majority of people are right here. So these are the ones who aren't doing so good. These are the ones who are doing right. You want to hang out with more of the people here, but the majority of people are in there. So you got to really work on yourself, making sure you're attracting the right kind of people. Okay. Last thing. This is something that I really dealt with a lot. And I know a mom mentioned that you lived in a predominantly white area. And, one of the things that I noticed a lot of is my voice. My dad sounds like this. If you talk to my dad will sound like this. Same thing with my mom, not as deep, but still had an accent, right? And so I watched a lot of TV as a kid. And I don't know if that's where I got my accent from, because, I heard one accent at home, but in school, I heard, English, but the accent was a little different. So, you kind of matriculate and you just kind of adapt to where you are. It's almost like this really cool power or skill that we have as humans, where we just kind of figure out how to adapt. And so one of the things I used to hate the most growing up, I used to hear it probably like high school, going into college, definitely as an adult, would be people saying, "You sound white. You sound white." And because of the way, maybe the way I presented myself, it made some people feel a little uneasy. The number one thing I learned is to never lower yourself to your competition. Never lower yourself to the people around you. That's why I said in that first point right there is to be unapologetically, authentically yourself.
Bro, and if I could jump in on that point a little bit, often when people say that you sound white, what they're really trying to communicate sometimes is you don't sound like you're of the same culture, or you sound intelligent, right? And this is the thing. Intelligence is not a white thing. You know what I'm saying? Let's start there. That's like ground floor, right? Okay, just because somebody's intelligent doesn't mean that they're white. No, that's far. Sometimes it's very far from it, right? But the thing is, on that is, do you want to be able to communicate who you are and what you're about? And that is a key lesson that, especially right now, people are struggling with like business and with like what they want to do with their careers. Your ability to communicate to other people is going to be tied to your paycheck at the end of the day, right? Because the reason why is because, can I communicate my value? Can I articulate my value to people, right? It's not about, you sound white, or you sound like you're from this neighborhood or that neighborhood. Because again, for me and Olay, we have our own slang, and we've had our own slang for years sometimes, you know what I mean?
Hey, LYS fam, it's Olay once again. These days, many families are busy, but want personalized attention. We at Laddering Your Success understand this dilemma and have created a unique approach to help guide you and your child with personal development tools to build a life of purpose. This intimate approach is helpful for those parents that feel the need to have a focused heart-to-heart conversation deciding on the next steps after high school. We provide individual post-secondary planning, virtual customized college and career counseling, and scholarship guidance and planning. Our one-on-one sessions are tailored to each individual student to maximize their potential in the post-secondary realm. With our guidance, your child will be able to make their dreams a reality. Don't wait. Simply go to lys.com/LYS LYS.com/parents to get your copy today. Now let's get back to business on this podcast.
Where we be like, you figure deal me, just different kind of stuff like that, where we had our own inside language, and that's cool. You know what I'm saying? And the appropriate term for this is code switching. Like, a lot of people are like, man, you code switching. That's the professional term. But the reality of it is like, no, I'm trying to get my point across. And for that very reason, I'm going to speak a certain way so that the majority of people can understand me. So that if you don't understand me, it's because you don't want to understand me. Okay? I'm not ignorant.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? I know what I'm talking about, dog. So that's what I want to say. Daniel got his hand up. So Daniel, you want to go in on that?
Yes, I do, son. Hey, man, I told somebody a long time ago, I've always hated that phrase, man. Or when people would always say that, because his thing, when they say it, they really saying that if you Black, you can't talk right. And if you want to talk right, it means you got to be, no, like only white people can talk right. I was like, man, have you not met my brother, Sydney? You know what I'm saying? Like, I might actually
Portier.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, or like something else. When a Black person, or when somebody sags, they be like, why are you acting Black? Man, I know a lot of people dress like, man, my pants don't sag, bro. Like, it's crazy. We are always given what's it called? The negative connotation, whatever it is, what it is, I can't think right now. But
negative connotation, yeah.
Yeah, thank you. They always giving us that and giving the other people all the credit for the good. And I do not like that, man. Yeah. So I'm like you on that. And I'm like him like that, man. I'm not going to lower my standard because of them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%, bro. 100%.
Absolutely. So, Monica, if you can, I'm not sure if the boys are right there, but number one, anything that we say, did it make sense? And if so, what are some things in particular that they would like to talk about, or some things that they're kind of dealing with that you want to, I don't know if you're looking into college or how to start figuring out what they want to do in their life. I'm not trying to change the direction, but I just wanted to see if there was anything else that you wanted to discuss for your boys.
Well, yes, we are all here together at the table, listening and being attentive. And I told them that they needed to make sure that if they needed something clarified, that they needed to ask questions. I think everything that you all are saying right now is 100% on point. Boys, what can you contribute, or what questions do you have right now?
I don't have one. I don't have any.
What have you gotten from what they said so far?
I've learned a lot of important information and stuff I can use outside and inside of school. So stuff that I can also work on too. But
okay. Preston, what about you?
I have a question.
Yes, you have a question.
What made you want to become a teacher?
Anyone can go.
So
did you hear him?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Yeah, we did.
I could kick off on.
It was the money. No, I'm playing.
I could kick off on mine. And this again. Well, your mom's there, so she could cut it off if she thinks I'm going too off. So I was struggling in life. I worked delivering pizzas at the time. As a matter of fact, I think I had 3 jobs. I think I was at Jason's Deli in the morning, delivering pizzas in the evening, and JD. Express or something. I got this girlfriend, which was horrible situation. But anyway, so she was like, you need some direction. You need some. And I was making pretty good money delivering pizzas too. I was making like $2,000 a month, you know what I'm saying? Plus, she said she does law enforcement, so I'm not gonna talk about the taxes, you know what I'm saying? So I just had bread, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, so then she asked what's called the $1 million question. And the $1 million question goes like this: if you had $1 million today, what would you do with your time? And oftentimes we think about how we're going to spend the money. She said, no, I didn't ask you how you're going to spend the money. I said, what would you do with your time? Right. And so the thought was like, well, I would coach football. And she's like, okay, the follow-up question is, what do you need to do to coach football? And at that time, the only level I knew about coaching was like, you need to go to college and be a teacher, right? Because that's what I knew about coaching. And so that's what actually started my transition into education, was like, yeah, because that's what I would do. And as I made that transition, because I didn't have a degree at the time. I started to go to college, and then I ended up in life skills and then as a behavior interventionist. And so, which is like, in school suspension. And so that's what started me in education. And then I started to snatch kids up in the school, and I was like, I'm gonna be on Fox for killing one of these kids. So I need to get up out of here. You know what I mean? But, the Lord had better plans for me, or different plans, which I was in the military at the time, so I had to do some mandatory reclass, and that led me to being a therapist, occupational therapy assistant, which is my technical skill right now.
Hey, LYS fam, it's Olay. Just wanted to take a quick break to let you know that even though the cost of college can be daunting, the LYS Scholarship Guide ebook can assist you in realizing your dreams. You can identify and apply for scholarships using the information, advice, and resources in our comprehensive guide. Also, we've provided a template for a successful scholarship essay to help you stand out from the crowd. Don't allow student loan debt to control you. Get your copy of the LYS Scholarship Guide ebook right away to take charge of your destiny. Simply go to lys.com/parents to get your copy today. Now let's get back to that fire conversation.
So anybody else, what made you guys want to become teachers?
I know Crawford had a really good story where he was actually talking about this on Friday. You want to go, Crawford?
Yeah, for me, I was following something that I was good at. I was good at art, and which is why I majored in animation. But doing that, I realized that to do that career, I would be in a room just full of computers, just drawing all day and isolated from other people. And something that I enjoy is just interacting with others. And within church, I was in all the youth programs with other kids, and I just loved the way it made me feel. Like it warmed my heart just dealing with the kids. So I'm like, I think I like just working with children. What is something I can do, as a career? Working with children, and it was teaching. And so I switched my major to education. And with that, we have to, while I'm in school, we have to work with children to get a feel for it and to learn the best strategies and pedagogies to help kids learn and things of that nature. And it was just like absolutely amazing. I started working with kids like in the second grade, third grade, and it was just so fun. Like kids are hilarious. It's just fun, and finding creative ways to teach the content that needed to be taught at that time. And so from having so much fun, I'm like, yes, I can definitely do this. I can see myself doing this. That's before I got older and got into the job and got introduced to the politics of education. But that is definitely what got me into teaching. And to this day, I am still passionate about helping others learn, just teaching in general. So that's my story.
Yo, did you want to go?
Sure, man. Yeah, I'll let you know. Mine wasn't the actual kind way of doing it like these two and the rest of the people on here. I remember I was sitting in economics class. I think it was Coach Oakley used to teach it, and I was acting bad. So I was acting bad, and I remember Coach Oakley said something about, if you go up to Alaska and teach, you can make like $80,000 to $90,000. And I stopped. I said, "What?" I said, "Hold on, shh, everybody, shut up. What'd you say, Coach Oakley?" And I was like, "I can go where? I can make how much money?" So that was my plan. I was like, "Shoot, you can ask anybody." Man, growing up, I was like, after I think my junior year, I was senior year, I was like, "Man, I'm going to Alaska," and that was my plan. But then when I got to college and I started getting in with the kids, like out there in East Nashville, can't think of some of the schools, man. It changed your heart to see how much kids love you. You know what I'm saying? And I was still planning to go to Alaska to make that money, but then God flipped it, and He brought me down to Texas. That was His goal. But it's a love for kids, man. Kids, well, things have changed now, but back then, man, it was just like, it's just a passion to see somebody actually succeed and make it. Like they start off one way and they end another way, and you see their whole life change and how much they just happy and like happy with you and stuff like that, man. It just changed your heart. Now, but these days it's kind of different because even y'all probably can tell us kids how the kids might act different in school, the teachers might act differently. You can't get always the help you want, and that's probably why your mom brought you here to get some more insight and advice. So, but yeah, it's really the passion and love.
Absolutely, man. That's so true. Wonderful, wonderful. But any other questions? I hope those are pretty good answers. I hope that helped. I hope that answered the question. Is there, or are there, you guys have any other questions?
No, sir. No, sir.
I think that's really profound and amazing because as the boys were talking, as you all were talking, I had asked them, I said, you all have never had a male Black teacher, have you? Because when you all were first on the screen, you were like, oh, we're all educators. Preston was like, he's an educator and he's an educator too, and him too. So they've never seen this many Black educators in one space. They've never seen this many in school, in a district, like never. So this is a first for them. And I think it's all just really amazing to hear you all be able to share your wisdom with them. One thing, if you guys have time, could you maybe touch on more about conflict resolution and what it really looks like to walk in your authentic self? I know that, with young boys, especially being in middle school, it's the start of a lot of hormones, the start of some ego, and I just want to make sure that they hear something that helps them be successful day to day, because middle school conflict can be difficult.
All right. Conflict resolution and being your authentic self. I'm gonna leave that up for her.
I'll take conflict resolution.
Go ahead. Yeah.
So when it comes to conflict resolution, it's really about emotional intelligence. At this age, are you able to identify the emotion that you feel from that conflict? And once you are able to identify that emotion, whether it's anger, whether it's sadness, whatever it may be, then are you able to articulate that emotion to the other person involved in the situation? And that is very, very important, because many times us as people, we tend to act off of our emotions and then realize the consequences of our actions later. And so what we want to do is be able to have these conversations. And that don't mean that the conversation is going to end in a resolution, or it still might end in a disagreement, but it's a way to address the issue in the most best possible way, to where it avoids, or it's a proactive way to settle the situation, and it has less consequences, and you both can reach an agreement, even if that is to stay away from each other, or we're not going to be friends anymore. There's a cohesive agreement through talking what that issue is. And what I realized working with, sixth grade students, fifth grade students, middle school students, is that they have not been equipped with the tools to identify first that emotion that they're feeling. And I feel like these are the conversations that are needed to be held with young men, to be able to talk about our feelings and to talk about emotions, and knowing that having those conversations does not emasculate us as men. It actually makes us stronger men, because we're now able to make wise decisions based on what's best for us and our purpose and the goals that we are trying to achieve. So I would say, whenever there's a situation, if it's at school, I wouldn't say try to handle that yourself. I would say, talk to the teacher, let them know, and ask if there's a way that they can set up a safe space for us to have a conversation with this particular person, so we can talk it out and possibly come to a resolution. And those skills will transfer as you get older into the workspace, and trust me, it'll be so many rewards, and people will see you in that space that you are able to articulate your thoughts.
Bro, I think that is a fire response. I did want to, and we're not just doing this for the sake of something, but in our book, we actually have a section on conflict resolution and the different types of relationships. And so I put that in the chat because I think that's something that you guys can have a discussion to go over with, kind of as a mother and them as your children. But there's a lot of, I guess you could say, ideas around the concept of relationships, because anytime you're in a relationship there's potential for conflict. So what are the types of relationships that are out there, right? And I think, as Crawford was kind of alluding to, you kind of have to look at the value of the relationship to determine, okay, what level am I really going to go, and not let your emotions get the best of you, right? If you're really thinking through things, and this is the thing, a lot of people try to separate logic from emotion. I don't think the two can ever be fully separated. But the thing is, you have to even think through your feelings. Why am I feeling this way? What is it this person did that made me so upset? You know, those different types of feelings, and processing those feelings. But I think what Crawford is kind of getting at, and he could correct me if he's wrong, is sometimes you have to suspend your emotions and what your emotions can push you to do, right? Because you're like, okay, yeah, we grew up in the age where it's like, nut if you buck, nut if you know what I'm saying. And so it's like, you don't want to. So anyway,
very good conflict resolution skills there, right? Knucking while bucking, right? Absolutely. No. I was just throwing that in there. Festus, go ahead, keep going.
That's it. Go ahead, man.
That's all I was just saying. Is like, what's your conflict resolution? So, how do you do? I knuck if I buck. That's what I do. I knuck if I. No. Yes, in regards to being I was thinking about that because you also asked about being your true authentic self. I think the more you know about yourself, the more you understand about yourself, the more authentic you become, the more authentic you are. And, that's the difference between knowledge and wisdom, right? There's a funny quote. The quote says, knowledge is knowing a tomato is a fruit. Wisdom is knowing not to put a tomato in a fruit salad, right? So you have to ask yourself these questions. Crawford hit on it earlier, right? The type of people that are around you, do you value them? How do you know you value them? How do you know you do not value them? Your likes, your dislikes, knowing why you like them, knowing why you don't like them. So just knowing more about yourself, and that's just that would be my best advice. The more I know about myself, the more comfortable I am in that. They used to say, if you want to meet people, if you want to make new friends, do the things you like to do. If you do and that's also one of the key principles in laddering success, be a friend to make friends, right? So it's kind of like on the same vein. It's just like, if you go out and you do the things that you like to do, you'll probably meet other people doing those things. There are so many stories of people who've been like, yeah, I was out here doing this, and it's like this random thing, I don't know, like cliff diving or something, or whatever. And I'm like, I met this other person. I'm just like, what? And that's how that initial relationship sparks. So the key that I would say is definitely knowing more about yourself. And then on top of that, you're definitely going to be in those situations where people see you doing those things, who aren't exposed to it, who are ignorant to it, right? And I feel like ignorant is one of those words that for years has had like a bad connotation. If you call someone ignorant, it's almost like a fighting word, where it's like, it's the difference between reality and perception, right? Ignorant simply means you do not know something. It's not calling you dumb, but it's just not knowing something. And so if you're going to come across a lot of people who are like that, right? Who are like, it's just kind of like the you sound white thing. They're not understanding the fact that, well, you're just well-spoken. But the key is to, I don't want to sound like a 90s after school special, but you just you have to let them stay in their ignorance. Or if there's an opportunity to teach them, you can teach them. But really, it's just, yeah, so this is what I like to do. Do you not have things that you like to do as well? And it's just kind of seeing past the ignorance, because a lot of people speak from a place of hurt. A lot of people speak from a place of ignorance. A lot of people see themselves in you, and they're reacting the way that people acted to them. And that's kind of like that whole hurt people kind of notion. So the key is to stay strong and understand that all these things that you're going through are only going to make you stronger, and stay close to those people around you who you can trust. Make sure you have a good support group for sure. I can tell you have one. now because your mother went out and made sure that you joined us on this call. Just so you know, we're here every Sunday at 2 p.m. We also have someone else here joining us, one of the JSC bros, Caleb, who goes to the school that we teach at. So yeah, that would be our advice.
This was all so good, like so good.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So glad you joined us. Please tell your boys if they have a Discord that we're starting up our Discord. It's a wonderful place for you to join. We're going to be putting lots of great resources, asking some thought-provoking questions, and hopefully creating an environment where we're able to spread that message of laddering your success. And of course, I mean, we're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, right? We're on all those things there.
Thank you so much for joining us, Monica, and having the boys join us. And please, the way that you guys can help us out is to help spread the word, right? So tell other people, because again, we're here, we're always here, and it's by you all telling other people, like we don't have a bunch of funding or all this other stuff where we're like, oh, but if you all could help us spread the word, then we could help impact more lives. So thank you for that.
Absolutely. Do you all have Twitter?
Kind of. So before the Elon takeover, Twitter was just a dumpster fire, and I don't even know now because we haven't really got back to it. I think our Twitter is like, it might be, my Twitter might be Festus _LYS, and let me see if I can find our other Twitter. We just don't post there that often because you were so negative. They have like everything was negative. But Olay's actually gonna go over our social media here in a second, because I think he's gonna do an overview and he'll go over the social media, because we do have Instagram and a YouTube channel, which these recordings, they actually go up on YouTube, so you can always check back to them and our podcast. So Olay, you wanna do that, and then I'll drop this in the chat.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you.
All right. So on Instagram, you can just type in the search bar LYS students or _LYS. On Facebook and on YouTube, just type in Laddering Your Success in the search bar, and that should give you access to all of our content. On TikTok, LYS Email is going to be info@ladderingyoursuccess.com. Like I mentioned before, Discord is Laddering Your Success. Just type that in the search bar. And our Cash App is $Laddering Your Success. So that should be, I think that's about, yep. Okay, you said the Twitter? Okay, there, absolutely. All right. So Festus, did you want to do a quick overview of what we're going to be talking about the next couple of weeks? Wonderful, wonderful. All righty. So what we're going to be talking about for the next couple of weeks is the state of education in 2023. State of education in 2023. And of course, that has to do with our three main stakeholders, right? We're talking about parents, educators, and students. Okay. So over the next couple of weeks, we're just going to be doing a overall grand look at where we are right now in education in 2023. And we're going to start off with the students. Okay. So probably next week, we're going to be starting off with them. And we're going to be talking about the biggest student issues in 2023. We are slowly getting over the hump of COVID. And during that hump of COVID, we learned so much about just trauma and anxiety and depression and a lot of things that these young people are going through. And the fact that the educational system is, there is a huge buffer, right? There's a slowdown in the ability to get resources to these young people. You have some places and some districts out there that are doing some really, really wonderful things. But as a whole, overall, the state of education for students is really, really, really rough. It's really rough. It's really tough. And so there are a lot of things that we can talk about. But of course, as always, we keep our heads up because there are solutions, and we're going to go over some solutions in 2023. I can tell you right now, this is a solution, right? LYS, student mentoring. Every Sunday at 2 p.m., this opportunity for young people to come in and just ask those thought-provoking questions, those questions that they feel like will really help them change their perspective. Okay. Right. Oh, and after that, we're going to be talking about parents, and then we're going to be talking about, kind of already put some of those things in there. And we're going to be talking about educators. Got to talk about our educators, because our educators are going through the wire. They're going through the fire. I mean, they are going through
like Shaka
it.
Khan, through the fire.
I mean, I didn't want to,
Oh man.
I mean, they are going through it, and they're keeping their heads up, smiling faces every day, doing what they can to help these young people. Real quick, Monica, just wanted to let you know, if Instagram and YouTube are really, really good, if you join us there and you subscribe, like Festus said earlier, these calls come up there, and we also put like little snippets and things on there as well, if you're able to join or subscribe on either one of those platforms.
Okay, perfect. Would it be appropriate if I invited my junior and senior students to possibly join in one day as well?
Not only appropriate, it is we would absolutely love it. We would absolutely love it. It is definitely, we love having young people on. The more the merrier. So
Okay.
we can get that going. Absolutely.
I will certainly do it.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right, folks, that has been our session. Festus, any closing comments, questions, comments, concerns?
No, it's just good to be here. Good to be back. Looking forward to crushing 2023. And I thank everybody who's on the call, and thank you for those who listen to the call, because again, we do this. I like to say, we tell our story to hopefully impact your story. And so by you all being here and supporting us, it lets us know, number one, we're doing something good and we're on the right track. And then number two, it's just helping change lives, and that's what we're about. So
that's what we are about, changing the trajectory, changing the narrative. Absolutely. It's all about these young people. These young people will one day be the parents and the forebearers of the knowledge to the next generation. So the more we give them, the more resources we give them, the better off the future will be. It's such a beautiful thing. All right, Festus, go ahead. Thank you so much to Monica for coming on, bringing the twins, bringing the boys on. We are so appreciative of you. You don't even know. Thank you so much for that. Thank you, Daniel Hill. Thank you, Jamark Crawford, for your continued support, always coming in and joining in on us. Just thank you. Caleb, thank you so much. Man, we got some soldiers. These kids are like 10, 11, and they're taking time on their Sundays. They should be on TikTok, but they're with us. What are we going to do? Festus, as always, thank you so much, sir. Go ahead, close us out.
No, they getting that game, bro. They getting that
You know what?
game
For free 99. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So as we always say, listen, there are legitimate excuses for not going to college, but there's no legitimate excuse for not getting an education. We thank you for joining Laddering Your Success. It's time to start your climb.
Oh, you're still there? Well, thank you so much for listening to the LYS Podcast.